Serena for Regis student at the North Anglia International School, located in Cooklin, Hong Kong. The school has been kind enough to grant Regis student full access to the school and their campus. And today I will be interviewing the principal, Mr. Brian Cooklin, a teacher named Mr. Chris Williams, as well as a student named Ava in his class. I hope you all enjoy watching this video and gain some insight. Thank you for interviewing with Regis student today. It is very exciting to be able to interview another principal from a North Anglia school, especially one that's located across the world in Hong Kong. Mr. Cooklin, can you tell me a little about yourself and your journey to becoming the principal at the North Anglia International School in Hong Kong?
Yes, certainly, Serena. Next year will celebrate my 40th year in teaching and 20 years as a principal. 16 of them to begin with in United Kingdom, in Scotland where I come from, and then I was approached to become principal of a British school in Mexico City, and I left there to come here to open and establish this school in Hong Kong. I'm a trained secondary school English teacher, so English is my passion, particularly Shakespeare and poetry. But I particularly enjoy the teaching of English myself, and I enjoy the opportunity of developing a school. So the big attraction and excitement for me was to open a brand new school, to appoint all of the staff, to establish the ethos, to enrol all the children, and to create a sense of community. And that's why I'm here.
How many students are currently attending your school?
We have 518 at the moment, and we'll be adding more classes in August, so the number will rise to over 600.
Can you tell me about the North Anglia logo? What does it symbolize?
Well, the logo symbolises an open book, so it's that connection with knowledge and a crown over it to suggest how important knowledge is and how significant and symbolic it is for learning.
Please tell me about the North Anglia International School we are at today, including the curriculum followed here.
Yes. Well, the curriculum we have that we follow is the English National Curriculum. So that means we have a strong emphasis on English and maths, literacy and numeracy. And that's something that parents very much appreciate. But we also teach all of the other subjects in the curriculum, mainly in a thematic way, apart from specialist areas of art, music, drama, PE and Mandarin. And they're all taught by specialist teachers from year one. And the reason I do that, well, there are several reasons. One is because I think those subjects give children rare opportunities, and I think it means they get the chance to succeed and to build their confidence. It's wonderful to see a really shy, reserved pupil in a school blossom because of the drama they've been involved in, or the piece of art they've produced, or the music that they've produced, sang, and I think that's the big encouragement. But also I've done this to try and ensure that we have good transitions for children as they move through school. The educational research shows you that when children leave primary and go into secondary, they often go backwards academically, especially boys. And we've got a great opportunity here to do something different. So that's one of the reasons that we teach in that way. We're preparing them for international GCSEs that will be studying in years 10 and 11 from the University of Cambridge. And then in the final 2 years at school, they'll be studying an IB diploma.
So what grades are currently covered here?
We have grades 1 to 7 on the British system, which means that covers the whole of primary school and the first year of secondary. In August we add year 8, and in the following August we'll add year 9. And then we hope to have another campus where we'll go up to year 13.
As principal, can you tell us what your daily duties include, and what are some joys as well as some challenges you face in your job?
Okay. Well, it's very difficult to describe daily duties because this is an extremely varied job. For example, today I'm doing an interview. I wasn't doing that yesterday. Right, so every day is different. Normally I start my day at the top of the stairs to welcome all the children as they arrive. We have over 20 buses coming from all parts of Hong Kong. So as each bus arrives, I say good morning to every child as they come in, and I think it's important that I start my day like that. Normally after that I will have meetings either with other teachers or the senior leadership team in the school, or I'll meet with people about the operations of the building and the premises. So I have that business to deal with at the beginning of the day. And then in the rest of the day, I will visit classes and I will go to different parts of the building once or twice a day just to see how everybody's getting on. Also because that's a joy for me, is to see children learning. So I like to look through the glass and look through the window and see them happy and safe and being well looked after and being encouraged to enjoy learning, because I think that's really important. So that's a joy for me in the day. The challenges often are dealing with administrative matters, particularly the bureaucracy and to fill in forms that I have to do and write reports, which are quite boring, and to deal with financial matters and make sure that the money is there to pay for everything. So those are the challenges, if you like. But in an average day, I can meet parents, I can meet children, I can meet people from headquarters, I can meet people from local government, from the council, from the Hong Kong government about different matters. And I'm also involved in the chambers of commerce, so I might go to a meeting of the British Chamber, the American Chamber, the Australian Chamber or the Canadian Chamber. So it's a very busy, active day. Then after school I might have a PTA meeting, or last night we had a meeting for the new Year 1 intake.
How does your school benefit from being part of a large international group of schools?
Well, it's a great benefit, I think, for everyone in the school. For children, it's a benefit because of things like Global Classroom, that we'll talk about more later. But it means that if a teacher wants to connect with a teacher in another school, they can do it easily. So you have 35 schools around the world, soon to be 41, and it means that if I was the teacher of Year 4 and I'm studying Switzerland, then I can link directly to a class of Year 4s in Switzerland and ask, what are the Alps like? What is life like in Switzerland? I think that's a tremendous asset. It's a big asset for our teachers, because if you're a geography teacher or a history teacher or an English teacher or a primary teacher, it doesn't matter, you can connect with all of your colleagues around the world. Now we have at the moment 35 schools, over 20,000 students, 4,000 teachers. That's a tremendous asset. So if you're teaching a topic, you can share your ideas with teachers of that topic in another country and say, well, what are you trying? What are you doing? And that's a tremendous encouragement for good quality teaching. In addition, the company has what's called North Anglia University, and we're going to be North Anglia University's Asia campus in this school. And we'll be training local teachers, but also we'll be running face-to-face courses for our own staff to come together across Asia, and online courses for any of the staff in the 35 schools to take part in. So that's just some of the benefits, but it's a great resource to have. And if you're, for example, studying for a qualification in education that you're adding, then we have a great library and a source of articles on education that people can access online.
Can you tell us about the Global Classroom and how you think students could benefit from it?
Well, they've benefited enormously here. We've got a great member of staff who leads the Global Classroom development across the school. And we have regular assemblies led by the children themselves about what they've been doing in the Global Classroom. So every age group from Year 3 upwards has the opportunity to take part in it. And it's an independent learning resource. So it's a safe place to go to do independent learning. And it's to encourage children not just to use Wikipedia, not just to think I go online and use Facebook or whatever, but actually to use it as a great learning resource. So they have different projects they'll be involved in at different age groups. For example, this school, we're running third, I think, in the league of 35 schools for debating. So last month, one of our students was named the debating champion, so she's got that honour of having the best involvement in debate and coming up with the best ideas in the debate she took part in. So debates is one thing, creative writing is another. They were writing poetry, writing stories, drawing pictures. There was an art competition for different age groups, and you can share that right across the world, and I think that's a marvellous opportunity. For older students, we haven't got any in that age group yet, but 150 of our senior students went to Tanzania last year and took part in a project where they're building a primary school in a rural area, and they were teaching the children English, and I just think that's a wonderful life experience for people to have. And they've been involved in things like water challenges to come up with ideas of how we give bring water to areas that have difficulty accessing it. So these are just some of the many examples of how the global classroom, I think, can energise learning.
What qualities do you think make the ideal student, if there is such a thing?
I don't think there is an ideal student, no. I think you have to see each student as a person in their own right. And I love the fact that everybody's different and they bring something different. They have their own ideas, they have their own personalities, they've got their own opinions. And the way that they experience learning is different. And that's what I like to encourage. I like to see children bring different things to the table and to argue and debate it. I think that's why I put big emphasis on things like debating, because I think the ability to stand up and defend what you believe in and what you think about a subject against all comers is a wonderful quality to develop, and I think it stands you in good stead as an adult. So for me, what I'm looking for are children who are positive about learning, they're open-minded, they're tolerant, they're respectful, and they understand the importance of different opinions and how the world comes together to make a positive whole.
Looking back at your career, what advice would you have for those students wanting to pursue a career in education?
Well, I think I decided at the age of 10 I wanted to be a teacher. Before that, I wanted to be an orchestral conductor, but I found that I wasn't very good at music, so that wasn't going to happen. But I thought that education and teaching was just a wonderful way of making a difference in people's lives. And I think that's what I've had most satisfaction from. When I left my school in Scotland, which I've been in for 33 years, it had been a very long time to be in one place, and it meant that I had influenced the lives of many different children. And it was very emotional and very moving to get messages around the world when people heard that I was leaving. They sent cards, they sent emails, they sent messages. And I think the one I'll quote from is the one that I think makes my career as a teacher. And that was a boy that I taught in my very first class who had been told in his primary school that he was backward and stupid. And I was very upset about that. And I worked with him and other children in the class and said, no, you're going to succeed. And he eventually did. But he sent me this message saying that I had been the person that opened the door for him, and that he had gone on from one success to another, and he now lectures in economics at Chicago University. And I thought, wow, what an amazing achievement for him. So for me, what's important is for people to think, what do I want to do with my life that will make a difference for others? And it could be in law, it could be in medicine, it could be teaching, it could be in any job, in any career, because I think each of us can make a difference to someone else's life, and that would be my advice.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you share with us a story or lesson from your own student years which you think can be of value to our youth today?
Well, I think the lesson is to be resilient, is never to give up. It doesn't matter what hits you, it doesn't matter the brickbats, it doesn't matter the criticism, it doesn't matter the stupid opinions of other people. What matters is what's inside you, and that you keep bouncing back. And the example I give is, I come from quite a poor background, and I didn't realise that at the time because everyone there I lived in was quite poor, so it didn't make any difference. But when I went to school and I met people who had lots of money and were doing very well, I realised that I was from a much poorer background. And what stuck with me was that in my primary school I won a prize. And when the head teacher gave me the prize, she said, "Isn't it nice to see a boy from the wrong side of the tracks do well?" And that really annoyed me, because I thought, why should that matter? Whether you've come from a poor area or a rich area, why should that be important? And I think what that did was to push me on to say, well, I'm going to prove all these people wrong, because I don't care what they think. For me, I'm just going to push myself as hard as I can. And that's what I've done throughout my life. There's never been an opportunity that I haven't tried, and I might have failed, but I picked myself up and I've done something else.
Thank you, Mr. Cooklin, for sharing all your thoughts with us and being part of Reach a Student.
You're welcome. Thank you.